Hello, and welcome to a short video on the use of the Continuous Top Shelf tool. When that tool was released, there was a short video done by Closet Pro that explained the most basic use of the Continuous Top Shelf tool, which is on a closet system. But for us here at Artisan, I see three different uses for that Continuous Top Shelf tool. So I want to go over each one of them in turn. The first use for the continuous top shelf tool is going to be to put in a continuous top shelf. Fairly obvious. I have a room here. We're going to look at all three of the different ways in which we can use this continuous top shelf tool. So I'm looking here at a wall, all double hang, hung to 90 inches. I just want to quick show you one of the, maybe you've learned this trick, but just kind of show you why it happens. I have 3 units. I want to equalize these on my wall. When I go to equalize, select all, including the open space, and I hit go, and I've still got a tad bit of extra space left here because the units, whatever the wall measurement is, did not divide evenly by 3. So you have to take one of your units and stretch it so that it will fill the wall. So now I'm going to go ahead and use our continuous top shelf tool to add that 16-inch deep top shelf that is a part of our standard system. So we come over here, we go to the tool, continuous top shelf. We're going to select all. We want it to be at 90, which is the build height. You want it to be 16, so it will default to whatever you put in as the default top height for the room. Depth, it will default to 2 inches more than the units below it. Back offset means it will be stuck up against the back wall. Remove unit top shelves. This is a yes or no question. Do we want to remove the unit top shelves? We are going to leave it checked and say yes, we want to remove them. We're only going to charge for one top shelf, not both an internal fixed and a top shelf. So we're going to go ahead and hit go. So 2 things are happening right now. The internal fixed shelf is being removed. That's why you see that small bit of gray there. And the continuous top shelf is being added. And you can see that in the 3D view of this wall. The gray space there is the cleat is still in the quote old position. It's just a little nuance. It's not important, not something to worry about, but you can see that the continuous top shelf is indeed extending over the units. That was the most basic use of the continuous top shelf. The next one I want to show you where it appears on the wall. It's right down here under top shelf. If you need to edit this, including changing its color. So let me pop over here for just a moment. Most of you have seen all the ways in which you can change the colors of various parts. Notice that this top shelf is not on this list. If you want a different color for your continuous top shelf, you would edit that here. You could, and the color, it's defaulted to same as closet, but this is where you could come in and change the top shelf color. You will have to do that piece by piece throughout the room if you want to make the top shelf a different color. And now you can see that it's been changed to black or some other color. Return to the build tool. So now I want to show you the other or the second use of this continuous top shelf tool. Clearly that was the most basic and the most straightforward. The next one I want to do is show you wall 3. This is a platform build. I've specifically left it looking this way because I want to show you another option. Many of you may have figured this out, but in case you need the assistance. So in this case, I'm not doing fillers. I'm not doing reserves. I didn't do any of that. I started with blank room. And the units are fine. They're popped over in the corner. As you can see, they are crashed in, which is not the way I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a unit I'm going to add empty space in order to then be able to move that empty space. This is how I can move that empty space. Move and swap are two different things. Swap will reverse. 5 will become 1 and 1 will become 5 if that's how I set it up. So if I set up move 5 to 1, if I hit swap, the empty space is going to go to 5. They're literally going to swap pieces, which in this case wouldn't be interesting because they're the same. But if I hit move, that means number 5 is going to insert itself to the left side of number 1, which is what I want it to do. I want 5 to insert itself to the left side of number 1. And now it has been inserted. I can now edit this space if I want it to be, well, what I'm going to do actually is put in another empty space. And then I'm going to, and this is just sort of as an aside, I'm going to equalize 1 and 6 and include the open space so that now it is perfectly centered on the wall. But the point of this video was to show you the continuous top shelf tool. So in this case, I'm going to show you, we used it on wall 2 as a continuous top shelf. Here we give it a different name, which is called platform, but it's essentially the same idea. All you're doing is inserting a shelf at the top shelf build height, which in this case is at the 90 inches. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to include, go to my continuous top shelf tool. I do not, and I don't want 1 because I don't want it to extend to 1. I just want 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't want it to extend to the empty space. I'm going to go ahead and select those. I want 90 inches. In this case, a platform is only 1 inch deeper than the units on which it sits. A continuous top shelf is 2. A platform is 1. So I'm going to change this to 15. And in this case, remove unit top shelves. I'm going to say no, because what I want is a fixed shelf at the top for the doors to hit on, the platform shelf, and then a fixed shelf at the bottom for those doors to hit on. So I'm going to go ahead and hit go. And now I'm going to edit this piece so that we can see it better. I'm going to go to materials. You can see there's 2 pieces. The system knows it cannot go beyond 97 and it's going to split them both in half. I'm going to come here. Because, say, it's an open end, I want to actually make this 56.875, excuse me. No, I'm going to close this because I forgot my number. It's 57, so I want to make it 58.875, but I want it to be at 27 1/16. I'm going to add an extra inch of overhang. That is entirely up to you. It's just, it will certainly be, is something that will be done by engineering, but if you don't do it, it's not a problem. And I changed it to black, so we're going to be able to see it better, and I'm going to hit submit changes. So now you'll be able to see that it extends 1 inch, hopefully, if I did this right, 1 inch to the left, okay? But it's only black for half of it because I have to do the same edit to the other piece. In this case, again, I want it to be at 58.875. I do not need to adjust the left offset because the extra inch is going to go to the right, and I'm going to change the color to black so again we can see it a little bit better. And now you can see that this top shelf, excuse me, has been added. We can check out this wall. So it is there as it extends a little bit in the front, and then it also extends to the left and to the right, which is how we would generally build this. But it is, again, that is a nuance that we can take care of in engineering. So I'm going to return to my build tool. And now I'm going to show it to you as a platform, excuse me, as a deck. So wall 2, I showed it to you as a continuous top shelf. Wall 3, I showed it to you as a platform. And now on wall 4, I have this set up with feet. So this is a garage sort of a look. And for those of you who are not aware, every time we build a garage, we put what we call a deck down at the bottom. And again, in this case, I'm suggesting that you could use the continuous top shelf tool as a simple way to put in that deck. In this case, I'm going to go to add continuous top shelf. I'm going to select all. My height in this case is not 90. I want the height to be at 7 because now it's becoming a deck. I want the depth, just like the platform, it's only 1 inch deeper than the units on which it sits. Now, remove unit top shelf. Again, I want that to be no in this case. However, we're going to see that that functionality is not quite working. I've already got an issue ticket into Closet Pro, and they will fix this. But just to show you how it should be working, remove unit top shelves, hit no, and then we're going to go ahead and hit go, and it will be adding a platform, excuse me, a deck to the bottom of the units. I'm going to go ahead and make that black. So again, we can see that a little bit better. Submit changes. And now you can see it there down at the bottom, but now I have to edit my units and I want to turn that shelf back on. In the future, I'm guessing that will be automatically fixed and you will not have to turn that shelf back on. But right now that functionality is not working properly. So I want to go ahead and turn those shelves back on. And you can get the point. You would need to repeat that for 3 times. But go ahead and view this in 3D. You can see that the deck has been added and it is a little bit extending. So that one tool that they gave us, which was to give us our 16-inch deep top shelf, can be used to add the 16-inch deep top shelf. It can be used to add a platform when you're building with uppers, and it can be used to add the deck when you're building a garage. Hope that's been helpful. Thanks very much.